is the guy that you put in charge
I know,
of
it is it will be me and not you, Councillor Kelly. Councillor Smith, please don't glare at Councillor Kelly.
Don't walk with him,
Councillor Harley, carry on.
I see again your protection.
I say if we're going to change the way we do business here, please stop it.
Steve, I didn't give you permission to speak. It's for me to discipline individuals.
All I did was call him Tory boy.
Well, please don't insult me. Withdraw that, Councillor Smith, and let's get on with the business of the evening. Sit down, Councillor Kelly. Councillor Smith, withdraw that remark. Please, thank you. Councillor Harley, carry on.
Thank you, Madam. I hope I can actually make a few remarks now. I did suggest that the sensible thing was to combine our amendments together and move them all at once, and that is what I'm doing. And I would just like to make a few remarks, therefore, upon our position, and for the benefit of the Labour leadership and their comments about our voting, then I'm going to make very clear what our attitude is to whatever decisions are made this evening. And if they wanted to write it for blood or whatever they wanted, they can say the afterwards. And I would have very great pleasure in actually doing that. I'd just like to say a few words initially, Madam Mayor, about the Labour budget. We have looked, of course, at it very carefully, as Councillor Foulkes said, and we obviously support the broad thrust of many of the proposals, in particular the attempts to support the Wirral economy, to tackle child poverty, improving safeguarding vulnerable people. I think it is the point, Madam Mayor, to say that in fact what we're doing tonight is to discuss somewhere less than 5% of the total budget of this council. It depends, of course, the calculation, the way what you've got on the bottom of the calculation, but it can't be more than 5%. It's probably a great deal less. We really do need, Madam Mayor, to find a forum to actually discuss the 95+% of this council's budget at some stage, and we have to face, we have to really look at each issue and not spend our time vanishing the small amounts of money. As far as we are concerned, our approach to the budget, we did welcome the inclusive approach taken by Councillor Jeff Green in drawing up the Cabinet's budget. We do, of course, respect the Labour group, the decision that they made not to join the Cabinet, but we decided to join. Last year, Madam Mayor, about £50 million or so was taken out of expenditure. This was largely through staffing reductions, as we've been told. One of the things that we find particularly worrying was that there hasn't been, during the year, an audit put in place to actually check the effects of this. A lot of comments were made about how this would put staff under unreasonable pressure and stress and so on. It is absolutely essential that we actually have the evidence as to whether this is true or not. Otherwise, it leaves us exposed. We're open to legal challenge. As we've had brought to our attention potential problems, but we haven't brought forth the evidence to answer if we're challenged. And that's a great worry, certainly, to me and my colleagues. In the budget that went to Cabinet, and I'm here moving on to the territory we were asked to, we support all of the Cabinet's proposals except where we removed an amendment. I don't know whether that's said again, but I'm going to write it down later on, so I don't have to say it again. And in particular, there are areas where Liberal Democrat influences have been brought to bear, and we particularly welcome, for example, £500,000 towards growing the green economy by providing extra training proposals. So, we're inviting all of our colleagues on the council to support amendments which are, in fact, those that are being rehashed by many members of the opposition in Parliament at the moment, and that is temporary tax cuts to stimulate the economy, targeting resources to those who are living the less well-off households, and targeting resources to area forums where there is greatest need and the most low-paid workers. Compared with the Labour proposals, 10 out of 10 households will be better off under our proposals, Madam Mayor. So, Madam Mayor, thank you very much for your attention. It seemed to be a bit of a storm